for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off your order. Yo, what's good guys, VenMFire here, back from the video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to run the Singleback Jumbo offense, aka the Singleback Ace Double Wing. This is one of my favorite run formations in the game. And if you're wondering why I'm in the Ultimate Team menu, I'm going to show you guys how you can get the 3 wide receivers at Jumbo. This is a very highly requested video, so if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. So, talking about Jumbo, I'm going to show you how to get 3 receivers. This is normally a 3 tight end, 1 fullback type set. Obviously, it's known as a run formation, but with the receivers, it adds a very difficult dimension to the offense, and that's some speed on the field for the passing plays that I'll be talking about. So, here's my Ultimate Team lineup. One thing I want you to notice is the offensive line. Notice how I have 0 backups on the O-line tight end. I have 0 backups, only the 1 tight end. And then what you do at fullback is you put a running back at fullback, and then at your halfback spot, you just have 1 running back, no backups. Again, no backups at QB either. But most people would think that's all you have to do, but you have to actually do another step, and it comes with your defense. What you have to do is take out your middle linebackers. If you have any middle linebackers on your depth chart or your field or your lineup, what that does is it's going to put actually middle linebackers at your tight end spot. So very weird formation. But as you see, we got outside linebackers there. I just threw, whoever I found in my lineup. I got a left outside linebacker, middle linebacker 1, right outside linebacker at middle linebacker 2. And again, none of the other positions make a difference. So with those steps, I'm just going to hop into a solo challenge to show you how it works, and then we'll go into practice mode. Again, you can't run this out of regs, which is very unfortunate. I tried all the roster manipulation I could to try and figure out a way I could show you guys with receivers and regs, but unfortunately I can't. But yeah, let's just go ahead, hop into the solo challenge, and then I'll hop into the video. Alright guys, here we are out on the field in Ultimate Team. I'm just in a solo challenge. One thing I did not mention yet is that we are in the Washington football team's offensive playbook. The reason for this is there's a way to audible to bunch from this, but here we are on the Ace Double Wing formation, aka Jumbo. Now if you just come out in at stock, you will not have the 3 receivers, you will have 2 receivers. So what you do is you simply flick your right stick to the left side once. That's going to put you in the heavy package. Now I click on the formation, and you see we got Jerry Jeudy, Andre Johnson, and Mark Clayton. It will put your tight end right here on the outside. There's no way you can keep on the inside, but still nonetheless, you got 3 wide receivers. You got a lot of speed out in the field. With that being said, I will go ahead and hop onto the field just to show you how it works. And then again, I'm going to show you the actual play setups in practice mode. Alright, here I just came out in a play. Again, take a look. We got Jerry Jeudy, Mark Clayton, and Andre Johnson right there. Again, so much speed, so much diversity. And again, I won't be able to show it with receivers in practice mode. So if you are more of a regs player, unfortunate, but there still are. It is still a usable run scheme. Especially if you have some fast tight ends. So I'm going to be using the Buccaneers in practice mode. But yeah, let's just go ahead, hop into practice mode now. Alright guys, as you see, we are in practice mode now. One thing I forgot to show you from Ultimate Team was the option to audible to 5 wide and gun bunch. Out of the Washington playbook, once you have those 3 wide receivers in, you can actually audible. You can just come out in the jumbo, and then you can actually audible to this gun bunch, which has some decently solid plays. You got mesh post, got some good plays in there, as well as 5 wide. Again, I forgot to show you that, but that's another option you could have. But with that being said, we are going to hop into our audibles, all that good stuff. Now, as far as the Ace Double Wing, one thing that you can do to just get a running back at tight end, because if you just come out in a default, obviously you will not have that running back at tight end. I just went ahead, put Fournette at the fullback position, and then I have Ronald Jones as my power back. What that does, it gives us our 3 good tight ends. You see the Buccaneers definitely have 3 really good tight ends, and now we have a running back for a little bit more speed. Again, that will only matter for people running regs. But with that being said, let's hop into our audibles. We got dive. We obviously need stretch. And then the rest of the plays actually, again, obviously come down to preference. There is some really good plays in this, and I'll be going over a lot of them. But this is what I have: PA tight end cross, and then play action counter waggle. And then the other play will come out in this tight end corners. Now, there is still a really good play in this halfback counter. And again, I'm going to be talking about all of these plays. But yeah, let's just go ahead, hop out in our first plays. I'm going to be talking about the run first. and then we will go ahead and move into the pass a little bit later in the video. So here we are in the run plays. You see we got stretch, we got dive. Now stretch I feel like is a lot better out of this formation than dive. The stretch is really, really difficult. I've tried multiple run defenses on this, and it's just overall a really difficult run to defend. You have to play a symmetrical run defense. You can't run it out of a nickel or whatever you want. And that's because, you got two tight ends on both sides, but not only that, you have the option to motion. And this year when you motion, the motion is really, really quick. As you saw how fast Gronkowski motioned right there. So it's really difficult to adjust your defense when you see someone motion over to the left side or the right side. And again, usually the guy motioning is going to be this inside player. And again, if you're an ultimate team, you can obviously motion that tight end over. But even with some, pretty bad stick right there against a heavy defensive set, they're in the 3-4. Imagine if they were in their nickel or whatever the case may be. But you see this is a walking 5 yards of play. And you can really see how the potential would be, obviously a touchdown if they were to come out in a big nickel or really whatever the formation were. But again, you see stretch, definitely a very solid play to run. Obviously, you could definitely motion pretty much any player. I can motion Fournette, but the reason is I don't really like to motion Fournette because when I do it, it actually turns into pretty much a goal line. It is a goal line formation when I motion him in. So that kind of gives away any threat of passing the ball. But you see, we do actually get some better blocks there. Again, obviously, if you do that type of a motion, you're going to have to snap the ball as quick as you can. And even if I do it to the other side, again, he's obviously going to run there. That can be a good way to bluff it and basically turn it into like a goal line stretch, which is actually a play that goal line doesn't have. But you see, you can really mix in a lot of things with the motion and really confuse your opponent. Obviously, I'm going to mix in some of the motion for the pass plays so that he can't just commit to either of them. But you can sort of do that weird motion snap with Fournette, where I could just motion him in a step and snap the ball again. That doesn't really do anything, but obviously I can run this vice versa and sort of motion snap him up the field, which will give you the option to cut it up the field right there. So again, if I were running stretch to the right, I could motion Cameron Bray in a step here and then snap the ball like that. And pretty much what that does, just look at the gap we get in the open field. Just absolutely way better blocking than just running it stock. And again, motioning has always been better for run plays in Madden. So again, this is one of those weird motion blocks that I found. Look at the success. You saw earlier when I was running those, couple of plays, I wasn't having as much success. But now when I mix in this weird, little motion, you see the blocks just, sorry about that, are completely better. All right, but I'll just show you one more time here. We got Cameron Bray. We're going to motion him in a step. We're going to snap the ball. And, we get better blocks upfield. Obviously, every run's not going to be a home run, but you just hope that you can, pick up those 5 yards and continue to get your opponent out in a heavy set run defense, which will help for the passes, obviously. Let's move on to the dive, though. My by far favorite way of running this dive is, again, to utilize the motion. Pretty much what this does is just going to get an extra blocker up the middle. Typically, Fournette on the outside obviously would not pick up a blocker on the inside, but when you just motion him in a step, again, it's going to be the same exact thing as the stretch. I just usually wait like a second longer. And again, it's not going to work every time, especially with the inconsistent blocking in this game. But for the most part, it's going to be a very solid run. Pretty similar to the deuce close wham. But I just feel like it's going to be better blocking because those tight ends are, they have their hand in the dirt and they're a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. And again, you see the blocking right there. We have such a big hole to run through. Obviously penning a block shed or whatever, and this is a good way to get your opponent to pinch his line, and really what that does is it'll open the stretch again. We're doing all of these type of stuff to really open up the stretch. Stretch is the main play out of the formation in my opinion, unless you're one of those pass heavy players. But again, just show it a couple more times, motion him in, you see the blocking right there, just absolutely killer. And really you could bounce this outside. I don't have to run up the gut every single play. Not only can I motion that player, and I could also motion Gronkowski sort of across the formation like that. And really what that does is it allows you to get to the outside very effectively. So if you notice him just completely stacking the box, this is a good way to actually mix in the halfback dive play to actually get to the outside. Despite them, completely motioning everybody over to that left side, we still have a sizable gap up the middle and to the outside. But again, dive, not too much to it, not as much, to talk about. Even with the stretch has a little bit more motion, but you see there a motion across. And we're one block shed away from, getting a one-on-one in the open field, which is really all you can ask for when you're running the ball in Madden 21. One last time, I'll just motion Gronk over. And again, motion different players over, give him different looks. He might be running a different defense that stops that, but when you're running the ball, just try different things. One motion might absolutely torch his run D. So with that being said, let's move on to the passing aspect. Again, this has turned into a little bit more of a passing formation when in years past this was, sort of a run the ball every play type formation. The passes definitely got better. So I'm going to start out with my personal favorite play out of the formation, play action tight end cross. Again, obviously this play is centered around the tight end cross with OJ Howard right here. Now for this first setup, you're going to want the tight end apprentice ability. So in Ultimate Team, I believe Gonzalez and Finley gets that. And if you're running this, formation, you're probably going to have a good tight end anyways in Ultimate Team. If you're running regs, I'm going to have other setups besides this first one with tight end apprentice, so don't be worried about that. But as far as the first setup, what I like to have is A on a streak, B on a post, and X on a drag. Block your running back to cancel the play action. Here's a look at the play art. Obviously, our first read is going to be the tight end crosser deep. We're going to wait a little bit, and then we're going to throw it up the field. See all that separation. Also, if you didn't notice, I did move to that left hash mark. So for this play in particular, you're going to want to run that crosser on the short side of the field, going to the wide side as you would pretty much with any other crosser. Again, obviously I could run it like this if I wanted to, but it doesn't really make too big of a difference. I like the crosser on the wide side a little bit better. Again, it comes down to personal preference for a lot of these types of things, but again, Fournette's going to be good underneath. One thing you can do is you can sort of motion him out to get him away from all the other routes. But there you see again, OJ Howard wide open, that curl flat. Again, I just have it on the default zone drop, so if they were playing over the top or underneath, one of those would be pretty much always wide open. As far as the post route is usually used to just, distract the user, but you can get it open in certain instances. Against the default zone drops, it does get open, or it does get defended pretty well, but keep in mind, a lot of people are double flatting, doing certain things that would prevent them from defending that post route as good as they can in practice mode. Again, don't be afraid to throw this drag route. A lot of the time it's going to be wide open, and you can really cut it upfield, especially out of single back. I love throwing these underneath routes, and they're definitely a big part of my offensive scheme. But as far as the other way I like to run this play, it's actually going to be from the other side of the field. So I'm just going to run this from the short side of the field with my crosser going from wide side to short side. And the other way I like to run this is with the wheel route concept. So what I like to do, go ahead, put X on a little flat route here. And then what I actually like to do is motion over Gronkowski. So I'm going to motion Gronk over on a drag route and then put B on the streak. So here's a look at my player. We got two pretty much high-low reads. We got the crosser, we got the drag, we got the wheel in the flat. We're going to go ahead, hike the ball, and usually that wheel route will get open. Cover 3 does a pretty good job of defending it. But again, keep in mind that hook curl is not always going to be over there. Again, look at the setup, RB on a wheel, and I can actually put Cameron Brate here, or Gronk here on a flat route if I wanted to. Put Fournette here on the drag, just put B on the clear out. Here's a look at the setup. And again, this might be a little bit confusing. I got a lot of setups for this, but here you see the wheel route wide open. You can lowball that. You can bullet it. It'll be wide open possession catch. And yeah, it's pretty much my favorite setup for this PA tight end crossplay. If you want, you can obviously go with a little max protect action like this. And you got the drag, you got the crosser, pretty much, a basic high-low read. But yeah, it's pretty much it for play action tight end cross. Let's move on to our next play, PA counter waggle. Now this is going to be used for this corner route as well as this post route. Now it's always good to have a deep post in your arsenal, but I want to mainly focus on just this route with Cameron Brate. Look how good of a spot he gets in. I can just run this stock, and he will always get open. Now again, against man coverage, that's not obviously the most fast breaking route, and for whatever reason on the player, it does show him going a little bit deeper than he actually does. So if you want, you can go ahead, smart out him, get him a little bit shorter. That's usually what I rock with. But as far as my other setups, what I like to go ahead and do is actually put A on a little backside drag, and again, I can always throw Y or RB on this wheel route concept and maybe just block my tight end. It'll look like this. But yeah, this is just a decent stock play. Look at the wheel route wide open. But again, that corner route's very solid to go ahead and mix in. If I don't want to use that corner route, if I want to just focus on this post, I would smart route the post And then actually what I would go ahead and do is motion Gronkowski over. Now, the reason I would motion Gronk over is to get B on a wide receiver hot route. So what I mean by that is I would be able to put to B on either a deep cross or a slant. So mainly I can do the wide receiver slant, I can do the zig, I can do a hitch, I could do pretty much anything. I like to go with the slant. And then I would usually go ahead, put Y on a streak, A on a drag, maybe something like this. Very, sort of basic concept, but still effective. And you see that post route does get across. I threw that way too late, but he does get in a pretty good position to catch the ball in between zones. Definitely a route combination that I like to go to. Again, you're going to smart route X. You're going to put A on a streak, motion Gronk over, put B on a slant, and then just go ahead, hike your football. Obviously, I could put A on a little bit of a flat route, but look at Fournette, just get perfectly in between zones. Obviously, I can lowball it in between the zones, or I can go ahead, throw it on the sideline. But again, that's pretty much my favorite setup. If I wanted to, you could obviously, sky's the limit with this. You can really do whatever you want. But yeah, it's just my favorite route combos. Not trying to make this video too long. You can really do whatever you want with these plays. I'm just going to give you guys a couple of basic setups to start out with. So let's move on to our next play, and our last play out of this set of audibles is going to be this tight end corners play. So this play I like a lot for these two corner routes against zone coverage, as well as this little S route with Fournette. So what I like to do is smart route X, get him a little bit shorter on that field, get his break a little bit shorter in between the zones, and then what I like to go ahead and do is motion over Gronk, and then I like to put B on the slant. Again, similar concept to what we already did. But again, I could also put A on a little flat, really do whatever I want. As far as Y is concerned, I could either block Y or maybe throw him on a little clear out. But here we got, little high-low read. Again, this X route, look at how well he gets in between zones. That's a really difficult route to defend, and it's really something that people wouldn't expect out of a jumbo formation, especially if you're playing the run heavy. These inside routes are going to be difficult to use or difficult to defend. So again, the setup on that was smart out X, Y on a streak, and then we motioned Gronk over, put A on a flat, and put B on a slant. Go ahead, hike the ball there. Now Fournette, he does get in a little bit of a weird position, but still, it's a very easy throw to make. You see the hook curls are never going to defend him that far. Although I am going against the same coverage every time, these are a lot of man beaters, a lot of zone beaters as well, pretty much the same. Just all built into one play. Now, the other way you could run this is to utilize Gronkowski's post. So I could just motion Gronk over, and then I could obviously go with B on his route, and then really, kind of do whatever I want. Obviously, I could also run that same concept with Howard on a post, but Gronk's is a little bit deeper, so we're going to rock with his. In this case, maybe I would go with a concept like this, or you can always, block your running back or block that tight end. One thing I can also do is maybe I throw B on a hitch, X on a flat, block my tight end like this. That would be a concept that definitely would be solid to mix in. But you see, oh geez, I accidentally just lowballed that. I meant to pass lead to the outside. That was definitely my fault. But again, just mix in certain route combos like this that nobody would really expect to go against. B on a hitch, RB on a wheel, or X on a flat, block your running, or block that wide tight end. And again, I can also smart out A so that he's not going as deep, so he's a little bit of a better throw right there. As again, I just made the exact same mistake. But you see how he would be open on that right side, or if that was a regular bullet pass, it would be open. Again, mix in certain things like that. But with that being said, let's move on to our next set of plays. With that being said, let's move into our last play of the video, halfback counter. I do apologize for this video being a little bit long. Again, I'm trying to go through these as fast as I can. You see I didn't even give you too many route combos, but again, I'm just trying to give you some base route combos. You can go in practice mode, practice this yourself, obviously. I'm just trying to bring awareness to the formation. But our last play is going to be the halfback counter. Halfback counter, super underrated run this year. It's really good out of Singleback bunch, pretty much any formation you can run out of. But as far as this one, you're going to run it the same way as stretch, same way as dive. You're going to motion Fournette in a step. You're going to snap the ball, and then watch it go to work. You see how big that hole is up the middle. We're one block away from a touchdown pretty much every time. And this is one of those runs where it's like just a normal run defense wouldn't work against it. And what I mean by that is, really just defense that you would think would stop this run wouldn't. And it's just one of those runs that's sneaky good. Again, you see they're getting instant sheds because the Buccaneers tackles are pretty bad. But again, you see we're one block away. Obviously, you can do some weird motion like that, cut it back, And again, Frank Clark is absolutely torching us right now. But really, I had success with this in online play. You can sort of motion snap rate, do some different stuff. Again, we're getting sold by our offensive line. But I think you guys can look past that and see how decent it would be again. The reason that I have to motion him in is because of that. You saw I didn't do any motion, and then this player right here that's ID'd just shot absolutely free. So usually when I motion snap Fournette, I've had a lot bigger or better success as I took the wrong angle, but you see we're still picking up 4 yards pretty much every time, and it gives you big play potential. It's one of those runs that, no one's going to know how to defend because they never go against it online, but you see definitely big play potential. Just wanted to throw that in real quick. It's not a play that I run all that too much, but it's good to mix in a couple of times a game. So that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and peace. I'm out of here.